salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott. Welcome to the Prog Corner. Oh, boys and girls, cats and kittens. Kevin, we've got a good one today, don't we? We're talking about the future of prog here. Not just no minor thing, right? Kind of an important thing. The future of prog. And I'm putting it on these two youngsters, Kevin. Do you think they got broad enough shoulders to handle the responsibility?
I know they
think they do. It's none other, ladies and gentlemen, Dominic Sanderson, all the way from the UK, is joining us. Hello, and I guess it's afternoon over there. How you doing, Dominic?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, doing awesome. I'm so happy that you said yes when I reached out to you and said, dude, we need to talk. And joining us also, it's none other than Rylee McDonald from Advent Horizon. Rylee, where are you at? I know you're a big globetrotter. You're all over the world, but you're based in Utah or something?
Yeah, Utah. You got it. We're high up in the mountains here where spring is just barely starting to show its face.
Kevin, and Rylee is giving a kind of a primer to every single artist that goes on one of these, YouTube channels, live streams, or whatever, on how to sound great and look great at the same time. He's got like this glow around his face to go with the excellent audio quality. Well done. 2 thumbs up. This is going to be a great show today. I'm really excited. Kevin, your thoughts about the future of prog in one graphic?
Well, first of all, 2 great artists. Their recent albums are amazing for both of these artists. So we absolutely got 2 to represent very well. Here I jotted a few other artists down that I think are amazing. I won't go through each of them, but they can take a screenshot of that and go check out every one of these artists because they're all young and they're all great. To give you an idea, Cyberband, here's just a little blip from one of their music videos. They're from the Philippines. They look like they're 12 years old or something, but man, they're good. Bad. They've got 3 albums out already. Go to their YouTube. Go to their YouTube channel. They got some great YouTube videos. They're Genesis, King Crimson, Rush. Those are all their influences.
I definitely heard some King Crimson in there. Oh, and look who's in the peanut gallery, boys and girls. It's none other than Jacob Roberge, the French-Canadian nightmare, the king of Quebec himself, with this beautiful debut album, The Passing. He fits right into the conversation, absolutely. Hello, Jacob. Glad to have you here. But today, I really wanted to spend a little bit of time with these 2 artists and just put a little bit of weight on their shoulders, like we were saying, put a little bit of responsibility, because I listened to both the debut Dominic Sanderson album, what was that, Impermanence?
Yes, yeah.
And Sell to Call Home. They both came out in 2023. Which was like a year where there was so many good debuts. It was kind of crazy, actually. But you kind of could tell, Dom, that something special was going on with your music. And one of the things I kind of wanted to ask you about was, what were you listening to, man? Because a cat your age shouldn't put out music that's, thank you, there are the 2 albums. Oh, they're both amazing, dude.
Oh, thank you.
What in the world were you listening to come up with these 2 beauties?
Oh God, all over the shop. It ranges.
Clearly.
Like with Impermanence, I was listening to a few different things than what I was listening to when I did Blazing Revelations, because Blazing Revelations, I think, is more obviously 70s driven, whereas Impermanence, I think it's got a bit more of a modern edge, if you want. But I think with both albums, I was listening to a lot of the Scandinavian like prog stuff, like Wobbler. Wobbler are a massive influence for me. They're great. And I don't know how you pronounce their name. Is it like Jordsjo or Jordsjo or?
Yeah, Jordsjo.
Jordsjo. Yeah. They're great as well. Really like jazzy avant-garde stuff going on there. It's great. Basically,
I love Jordsjo, and they have a brand new record that came out Friday. It's on Apollon. I don't know what's going on with that. I know Charisma and Apollon shared the same office there in Bergen, Norway, but it's a split album. right? You've got them on one side, Bredoblick on the other, which I guess makes sense because dude band's in both bands now. That wasn't the case before, but either way, man, each side is one track. So it's like each band gets a 20-minute song, both called Contraster. Both are amazing, man. I need that vinyl bad. I need to get my hands on that because they sent me the files and I have been in love with it. New Yorzio, always a cause for celebration, and a 20-minute Yorzio song. Come on. Oh, life is good. So what else was on your turntable? Because I just got excited that you were listening to Yorzio, didn't I? Yeah. I knew that a lot.
Well, and Wobbler. I mean, you're talking Scott's language, man.
It's good stuff. I mean, any of the Charisma, artists are just great. It's a brilliant record label. But other bands, I mean, you've got your staples. So you've got King Crimson, you've got Van de Graaff. Van de Graaff are a big influence. But I only got into them after Impermanence, so I didn't even really know much Van de Graaff when I was doing Impermanence, but I think you can sort of tell that I'd been listening to a lot of Van de Graaff when I was doing Blazing Revelations. So,
it happens to the best of them. It happened to Discipline also. Before and after, dude listened to Van de Graaff Generator. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, but I love it. It almost seems like you get inhabited by this weird spirit of Peter Hamill at times. But it's still you. It doesn't sound like Peter Hamill, though.
Oh, good. Right? I'm glad you say that.
It's like watching Anthony Hopkins do Nixon, right? Yeah. He doesn't look anything like Nixon, but all of a sudden the spirit of Nixon inhabits his body, and you totally believe it. It's cool. It's a cool thing. I love it. Boys and girls, we're gonna play a track off the new Dominic Sanderson album, Blazing Revelations, and of course. They're all long tracks, man. It's just, this is prog rock. So we're going to do that in a second.
They're long, but there's so much going on. It feels like lots. It's like listening to 10 little mini songs in there. So
yeah.
And, it's like I'm telling my audience, so, I'm like bracing them. Oh, there's a lot. No, this is like throwing red meat at hungry wolves. Come on, man. They love it. So we're going to play a 10-minute track. Going to play a 10-minute track from you, but Rylee, we're going to play one of your songs later. We're going to play the music video, like all fancy music video, that Advent Horizon. But before we get into the Dominic Sanderson track, anything going on with Advent Horizon we should know about?
We are pretty close to complete with our new album. We've been tracking nonstop since January, several days a week, and we just finished up vocals a few days ago and keyboards as well. So we're done. We're ready to mix. We'll be pushing out singles probably this summer.
Nice. Awesome news. Talk to me about the lineup of the band. Any lineup changes? Is there same personnel as the last album?
Basically same personnel. We've used my wife's voice a lot more on this album. In the last album, she was featured on 2 of the tracks. This album, she's on, I think, every one of the songs.
Cool.
Now she's only doing lead vocals on. The album starts with a 20-minute epic, and that 20-minute epic has lead vocals from myself, Kristen, and also Grant. We're all 3 of us are singers, and so we have kind of lead vocals alternating back and forth the whole song. So she has a ton of lead vocals in that song, but then the rest of the record,
is that the track that I heard?
That is the one that you heard, yes. And now you heard the demo of it, and the demo has a little bit less of Kristen than the final track does, and it also, I don't think Grant is even in the demo. So you heard an early mock-up of it, but it's. Cool. Hearing it all come together with all 3 voices. Actually, it's 4 voices, I just remembered, because my drummer Mike is a screamer, and there's a little section with some screams in it that Mike did. Okay. And so it's been really fun to hear it come together with the 4 independent vocals stacking on top of each other. It almost reminds me of like Styx. Styx would have these harmonies that you could tell it wasn't just one guy layering 8 of his own voice. It's 3 or 4 different singers, and you have each singer occupying their own range, and they stand out clearly in the mix. it's really exciting to hear that.
I love it when people are talking about the difference between open and closed harmonies. Oh, it's a beautiful thing, boys and girls. Yes, there's a reason why the Bee Gees sounded, a certain way. That closed harmony, that familial voice. That's kind of the magic of Mir. Mir, Dom.
I've heard of Mir. Yeah.
It's familial. There's siblings, which means their voices actually lock in a weird way where they actually sound the same, even though you can tell them apart because one's a male and one's a female. Very cool stuff, man. I'm excited to hear the rest of the record, Rylee.
I've heard the whole thing, and I think it's amazing. Yeah, I've heard the whole thing, and I should mention we gave Album of the Year for 2023 to their last album, Sell to Call Home. So our favorite album of 2023. So that was a big deal. You were up there pretty high too, Dominic. Don't worry. So I was very interested to hear their new album, and it's different. It's a little different. It's definitely heavier and darker and proggier. I would definitely for sure say it's proggier. Are you going to put that epic on the front?
I want to. That's the way that I wrote it. We've had a few people within our inner circle who've been scared of starting the album with a 20-minute epic, but the way that I see it is like I'd like to see this album as our 2112 in a way, where we've got this epic track up front and then there's a few shorter tracks after it that kind of like tie everything in. I realize that that's some huge shoes to fill, and I have no expectations of it being as good as 2112 because very few things in the history of Earth have been as good as 2112. But that's the comparison that I make. I would like to have it.
I think you should do it because that's how I heard it, and boom, you got my attention from the jump, man. So I think it's great. Sweet. I'm super excited. Again, I'm hearing rough demos, so I'm very excited.
It all depends if you want to get the crazy old prog heads excited, in which case you absolutely open with the epic. So that
cool.
It sounds awesome. And you're ticking a lot of boxes for us too, talking about Styx and talking about Rush. It's like, okay, I'm all ears, man. But I kind of want to lead this episode off with, here's Goran from Bosnia, by the way. Dominic Sanderson, a true masterpiece of prog. I can't stop listening to it. This guy knows what he's talking about, boys and girls. This Goran cat from Bosnia, he listens to every single prog record, every single one. I listen to a lot. Kevin, I know you listen to a lot. He listens to them all, every single one of them. And Ian listens to a lot of them too. And he just played The Cell the other day. Yeah, it's a good record. You should listen to it. But anyway, I want a lot of the little boys and girls out there have not heard the new Dominic Sanderson, which makes sense. I haven't reviewed it yet. So, my people maybe aren't hip to it. So let's fix that. The new album only has 4 songs on it. So I was like, oh boy. What do I do? I really wanted to play, one of the longer tracks, but this is a prog channel, so nobody should be worried about it. I'm playing Faithless Folly. It's the second track off the brand new album. I love this thing, and let's see what the little boys and girls have to say about it. And hopefully there won't be an ad. There's usually like an ad for some fitness drink on the front end. Oh, no, not this time. Feel free to do air guitars and stuff. Remember Marco Greco?
He was great.
We had him on here from Samurai of Prague, and he's like playing all the keyboard parts.
He's playing the guitar.
He's playing the air drums.
He was loving his music more than anybody.
Yeah, so feel free. Jacob likes the chord progression.
Yeah, you're not going to hear too many C majors in this album.
Oh, no.
Those who fall short of invention seek an alternative talent, crackling and glory and clear came between weeks and outfits of fancy under the belt on the canvas, and abnormal plotting and sinless, swirling and toiling and dabbling as a blue film of only disfiguring. Those who fall short of invention seek an alternative talent, crackling and glory and clear came between weeks and outfits of fancy under the belt on the canvas, and abnormal plotting and sinless, swirling and toiling and dabbling as a blue film of only disfiguring. Those who fall short of invention seek an alternative talent, crackling and glory and clear came between weeks and outfits of fancy under the belt on the canvas, and abnormal plotting and sinless, swirling and toiling and dabbling as a blue film of only disfiguring. Those who fall short of invention seek an alternative talent, crackling and glory and clear came between weeks and outfits of fancy under the belt on the canvas, and abnormal plotting and sinless, swirling and toiling and dabbling as a blue film of only disfiguring. Those who fall short of invention seek an alternative talent, crackling and glory and clear came between weeks and outfits of fancy under the belt on the canvas, and abnormal plotting and simmers, swirling and twirling and dabbling as a blue film of only disfiguring.
Hello, this is Jackson with the Mighty Quinn. This is a 160,000 serial number, Selmer Mark 6 alto saxophone.
I like this guy. Have you ever seen his
really
stuff?
great shape.
He knows his stuff. Yeah, no, he's a Lisbon guy. I don't pay for premium, obviously.
As a malevolence, devoid of passion and dry, satiates and complies. Soul by soul in a flaming bush of panic fright. Hey, your fears, a disembodied shining perfect mind. Type of folly and wild, crimson giant child, pictures fall on my eyes. Beating voices leap out in a daze of black and white, rolling rolls of self-assurance, marked by foreign light. Discarded gestations, breaking the ground without reanimation, staggering innovation. Like a pilot over there continues to play, wear its friendly facade, all the while spying, lensing, and nursing, and encouraging the forces within to abandon their psychic search for intangible positive influences. Suspended to risk, but the end in the form of insistence. villain sleeps. His veins are dry, and the moon now glares irreverently as it follows, which sparks a fragrant chance of humanity. But now,
yeah, Peter Hamill, he's coming through. he's possessing you.
Yeah, a little bit. And don't worry, Kiefer, it's StreamYard. The sound quality on this record is awesome.
It's great. Nobody's
saying this is like high definition sound quality. It's not.
Where'd the artwork come from?
That was my dad. He painted it.
No.
Nice.
Yeah.
What? That's awesome. Artwork is everything, man. And that is
really
so
is.
badass. You know, to me, when I was a kid, I wouldn't, there's no way I'd spend money on a record if I didn't like The Sleep. There was no way.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't do it. And that is impeccable. It's awesome. Let me see here. I'm going to try to line up the next thing here. No, that's the wrong button. I got to be careful. One of these days, I'm going to end the stream just pressing buttons here. You would think after almost 4 years, and how many live streams have I done? Over 100. You would think at some point I'd get good at this. You just would, and it's just not happening. It's really weird,
Scott. You'd think
it's one of these days I'll figure out what I'm doing. But okay, I just keep it up here. We're not going to do it now. Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it in a minute. There we go. Okay, we've got Rylee's song queued up. We're going to listen to an Advent Horizon song next, but first, I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the younger talent that's out there. You mentioned Awe Crust, fantastic band that we have had on the channel. Real cool guys. Brass Camel. I just listened to them for the first time like 2 weeks ago. Whoa, those guys are awesome. You've heard them, right, Dom?
Not yet.
You'll like them. You'll like them.
Yeah, they're
so
they're
good.
crazy.
Their new record is ridiculous. It's incredible.
Very eclectic, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Then not necessarily, we're not just talking about bands that are of a certain age, but new bands carrying forward the torch that is prog rock. We've had some really, really good debuts here over the last couple of years. How about last year? We had remember this Oddleaf record that came out last year, Kevin?
Yeah.
This band from France called Oddleaf. The album is called Where the Ideal and Denial Collide. And you and I both big fans of British Columbia's Versa. Keeping the Prog flames alive. We just mentioned Jacob Roberge, who is with us in the Peanut Gallery. So that's always fun, to see that. But we've got some young talent like in other places creeping up in the prog world. Like you'd never think of This Winter Machine or that whole crew as being particularly young. But when they break free from Al Winter and form Ghost of the Machine, and they're fronted by young Charlie Bramall, what Charlie looks like he's 12, right? He does. And there's a lot of that going on right now where you're seeing a lot of the youngsters like side by side with some of the older cats, and
Peter Jones hanging
perfect.
with the old guys all the time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those bands, those legacy bands. It's like they always seem to have like one or two young cats like in there with them. I think that could be something that Yes needs to look at, right? They could do better than Jay Shellen and Billy Sherwood as a rhythm section. I'm just saying. I'm just saying they absolutely could. And they should, it's a shame that Advent Horizon has a better rhythm section, but they just do.
I've thought for years that bands like Yes, there's so many more of them that like the Kansas is one of these where they gradually replace original members and they bring on sometimes younger people and sometimes other older people. But I've felt for a long time like the future should be these bands just continually replacing members, and the band should continue for 200 years. Like it should just indefinitely continue in different iterations playing the same music.
Yeah, Kansas is a great example.
Right.
Yeah, like Asia, they're never going away, apparently.
Stravinsky used to sit in the orchestra when they were playing Rites of String. He played the bassoon. He wasn't always just doing the baton. He was the bassoon player, right? Well, there's no original members left in the Stravinsky band, so we should never play Firebird Suite or Rite of Spring ever again. No original members, no Igor, no Stravinsky. Wait a second, that didn't work. But you get my point, right? They're still playing Beethoven, right? All them cats are dead, so it's I agree. And these bands should be looking at replacing members. But they should be replacing them with like the correct members, right? Not just and I hate to say it, it shouldn't just be the ones that grandpa is comfortable playing with. It should be the ones that can actually play the material the right way. And
that and that can put on a show. Like when I go to a concert, I want to see a band that's actually like exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And now, to be fair, there's some old dudes that can rock hard on stage and put on an exciting show. Rush, I always use Rush as an example, but they're one of those where like up till their last show, they were exciting and fun to watch. But just make sure whoever you bring in, it's fun. It's fun to the audience.
I'm so hard on Yes because they're my favorite band, and I feel like I have a lifetime pass to bash them mercilessly whenever I see fit. Because honestly, I've spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of hours obsessing about this band. I'm entitled, man, to call it exactly like I see it.
I think another good example is Styx. They brought in Lawrence Gowan. Man, that gave them another multiple years. You go see them live, he brings so much awesomeness to their show.
So much fun.
And then behind the scenes, you got Will doing his thing with so their last two albums have been phenomenal. So that's a band that's trying to keep it going.
Still rocks too. He's got really good energy for his age.
He does. Yeah, they were good actually. So the legacy bands don't have to be terrible. Right? They can actually still do a good show. Jethro Tull, even though Ian's voice isn't great, they're still fun to watch on stage because Ian surrounded himself with some decent players. And
last time I saw him, he had that young guy that sang half the songs so that he could take a little bit of a breather, Ian, to not have to sing the whole sets.
Yeah. I don't think we got to worry about Rylee's voice going south anytime soon. Wait a second. Chuck. Oh, Chuck is in the house. Oh, we love you, Chuck. Yeah. So
we got Chuck with us.
Yeah, Chuck's good.
Good
people.
Chuck.
He's always around. He's kind of like Prog Rock royalty, so we're happy to have him here in the house.
Hey, Chuck, if you can hear me, I'm playing a gig in Vegas next week. I'm going to have lunch with you while I'm down there.
Oh, you see, I told you about this. You laughed when I said, you're a globetrotter there, Rylee. It's absolutely a fact. And yes, Kiefer, it was at the Rose that I saw Tull most recently. Yeah, I was there. I was at that show. It was all right. The band was good. Ian's voice, not so much. Anyway, I want to play this. This is is this the lead-off track off your last album, Rylee? We're going to play a song called Water. And it's an actual music video, boys and girls. Unlike Dom's video. What are we gonna have to pay somebody to get you an actual music video?
It's on the way. Don't worry, I'm working on it.
I'm kidding. I don't care. Hey, the numbers went up while the song was playing.
Nice.
That's all I care about. The numbers went up. So clearly, we didn't need a visual. Anyway. Nope. Let us do this next track. It's called Water. It's by Advent Horizon off their 2023 album, A Cell to Call Home. Awesome record. Awesome record. Really enjoy it. Here we go. Cats and Kittens.
I destroyed a guitar in the pursuit of making this video.
Well, that made it all worth it.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
The waves got to it.
Oh, yeah.
Crashing waves killed the guitar. No, how sad. I was going to ask you about that.
Critical of the body that's lost on the street. Ooh, anything so pitiful would have given her reason to leave. And no one else made you call. I am the cause of my downfall. The poison leads me to crave. The poison makes my grave. Ooh, everyone cynical when a body gets washed out to sea. Ooh, anyone so beautiful could have easily left me to be. So she could find the angel light. She stood by and helped me to breathe. She stood by at my side every night, set me right. She could find angel eyes. She stood by and helped me to breathe. Save me. I know you got no good reason, but please don't go.
Rylee needs to go on your best hair video, Scott.
Yeah, I missed that one. That is impressive.
And again, now people got to go get the album because the sound obviously is not doing this justice.
Awesome track. Oh, wasn't that for what? What do we got in there for the Apple gift card?
Oh no, that's part of our song.
I love that track. No, that's part of the charm of being on the Prog Corner. You never know what you're going to get, including guest appearances from none other than Brent Bristow is back. Oh,
Mr. Bristow!
How you doing, Brent? What are you doing here?
Well, as you know, Rylee and I are friends, and we performed together a couple of times now and had such a great time. And agree with Kevin that as far as 2023 goes, The Cell Call Home was just devastating. Dominic, I'm a newcomer to your music, but after hearing it and hearing the prolific use of saxophone, as I'm a saxophonist myself, I'm going to delve into your work much more after this. But Scott sent me a note this morning, said, hey, you want to jump on? So fortunately, I was awake and around, and here I am.
There you go. It worked out good. Motion City Carry still a solid slab. We're talking about the future of prog rock, and Brent, it's ironic that you're part of the equation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and our guitarist, of course, keep in mind, I'm the oldest member of the band, and of Emerald City Council, going all the way down to Seth, who's like 25.
There you go.
So we are a varied group as far as.
So I should have asked him on instead of you. Basically, what I'm hearing.
Good. You absolutely should. Yeah.
Oh no, Brent. Oh, look who's in the chat. Last time you were here, Kiefer had some choice things to say about Kansas. And here we go. He's in the stream, and it's almost like I set this up. Almost like we're looking for a feud.
Fight.
Kiefer, I have your address now, so
that's all right. He's dead wrong about Robbie Steinhardt. He's dead wrong about Kansas.
That's right. So but along with what you guys were saying before I logged on, I want to point out what a difference that last album that Neil Morris just did with the young guys from Nashville with the Resonance. That's such a great album. It was such a breath of fresh air for Neil to bring in those guys. I just saw them perform in Nashville, and a very energetic show. I think that was a really good call for him to bring in some younger guys for a different kind of energy for that album, and I think it really worked out for him. So I agree with what you guys were saying with these, Yes and all these other groups bringing in younger people, because it just brings a different kind of energy for sure.
No, I totally 100% agree. And as Kiefer also brought up, the Cosmic Cathedral thing kind of counterbalances the Neil Morris and the Resonance in that here you've got post Mike Portnoy, Neil Morris trying to figure out a path forward, and he's got the one band with all the young guns, man, right? The Chris Ryleys of the world, these cats that are absolutely on top of their game, and they come out with that dynamite album, No Hill for a Climber, and then you kind of put that up against juxtapositioning with all these old cats, right? Chester Thompson, Phil Kaggy, Dolly Parton's bass player, come on, man. It's a whole different vibe, right? You feel the young prog vibe, that big young prog energy of the Neil Morris and the Resonance, the more laid back yacht rock prog of the Cosmic Cathedral. And you know what? They're both amazing. They're both amazing.
Well,
just two
and we were
totally
talking
different
before
ways.
the show. That's one of the beauties of prog, man.
Yeah.
Is it spans the entire spectrum, and you can start out when you're young like these guys, and they can be playing this for the next 50 years, no problem.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, what is yacht rock? Yeah, Neil was pushing Cosmic Cathedral as being progressive yacht rock. I don't know if there is such a definition to be had for yacht rock any more than there's a really good definition for prog rock, is there?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean,
It
Rylee,
sounds good when you're on a yacht. What music doesn't sound good when you're on a yacht?
What were you listening to? Say 10 years ago, Rylee?
So
that formative time in your life, right? When music starts becoming like a real big deal in your life. What was on your playlist?
I mean, just like so many other prog musicians, it all started with Rush for me. When I was 12 years old, I really didn't have a whole lot of interest in music up to that point in my life. But when I was 12, my dad bought tickets for us to see Rush on their R30 tour. And he said, hey, this is one of my favorite bands from when I was a kid. I bought us tickets. I'd like you to get into them. So he gave me a copy of Exit Stage Left, and I had it in my little Walkman CD player for like a month, just listening on repeat. And I remember it was specifically Xanadu on that just blew my mind as a 12-year-old kid. And then seeing Rush in concert that summer, it was something about seeing those three dudes on a stage playing this incredibly complex but also beautiful music to an audience of 10,000 people who were not only singing the words, but they were air drumming, they were air guitar solo, they were freaking air bass guitaring along to it. Oh, yeah. And that was like just so powerful to me, see all these people who had been so influenced by this music that they wanted to know everything about it. Yeah, that I got obsessed, man. It sent me down a rabbit hole, and it started with Rush, and then it ended up going to, first it was the older prog stuff, the Genesis, King Crimson, Gentle Giant, Yes, all that stuff, but it gradually morphed to newer music, and I got into Dream Theater and Porcupine Tree and Opeth and Between the Buried and Me and so many other bands back in, I guess that would be like the mid 2000s when I was in like middle school into high school. But then leading up to about 10 years ago when Advent was really getting started, I would say the bands that most influenced the sound of Advent Horizon directly are going to be Rush, Porcupine Tree, and Haken. Those three are probably the biggest. And I have a lot of other influences outside of that. I love like 80s new wave music. I'm a huge Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode, Duran Duran, The Cure, all that kind of stuff. Nice. I'm huge into that. I also love a lot of 90s music, a lot of alternative rock, stuff like the Goo Goo Dolls and even like Weezer and stuff. I love a lot of stuff, but the primary influences have always come back to prog for me. Yeah.
And I think that's amazing because when I was 18, I think I was 18, maybe 17, fixing to turn 18, Rush had a very similar impact on me. Permanent Waves tour, first time I ever saw them. And just
what a tour to start with. Wow.
Oh, and I was at one of the shows where they were test driving early versions of Limelight and Tom Sawyer.
Cool.
So I saw I think it was the third or fourth live performance of Tom Sawyer. So that's pretty cool on the Permanent Waves tour. But man, just that three dudes could make that much noise. That just blew my mind. I'm like, Geddy's playing bass with one hand, keyboard with another hand. He's got bass pedals going on. He's singing. He's playing a triangle with his teeth or something. It's like one of those trained seals in the zoo or something. I expect to see him bouncing a beach ball too. It's just insane. It did something to me. But here we are, from a whole different generation, and the same band kind of blew both of our minds, just years and years and years apart. That's the power of Rush, bringing generations together.
And Rylee brought up an interesting point where he talked about he has a wide eclectic range of music. That's another great thing about prog, because if you're a prog artist, you can bring in any of these other genres and you can sprinkle them in interesting ways. But if you're like a pop artist, you're not going to bring in certain sounds. But that's what's great about prog. And if you want to talk about eclectic, again, Dominic's albums, they're coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's funny. It's funny you should mention all the different genres because, the original wave of prog bands were influenced by loads of different genres, like classical music, folk, and folk for me is quite a big thing. I love like John Martin, Roy Harper, Nick Drake, Fairport, and then loads of the acid folk sort of guys as well, like Comus. Onto them.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Oh. Yeah, they're a bit. I think they're going to be a bigger influence on the next album.
Oh, nice! That first Utterance album is insane.
Yeah, it's great. I've not listened
to the second album, not so much.
Yeah, I've not listened to that one, but that first one is great.
First Utterance, man. Oh,
yeah. So, great stuff.
Wow,
gives you chills every time you listen to it.
I'm excited now, right? We're ready for album number 3 already with that kind of you got to have like a dream board when you're putting an album together, right? And Brent, when you were putting your Emerald City Council record together, I think we kind of knew what your dream board was looking like, right? To me, it was like if Kansas had a saxophone player instead of a violin player.
Well, that was definitely a part of it for sure. Yeah, I definitely wanted to, as I've said on multiple times, one of the things that as a saxophonist, particularly someone who's played a lot of classical music, I played, a lot of solo literature, saxophone quartets. I played orchestral stuff. I've done all of that stuff. And whenever someone says, "Hey, you should check out this band. They have this sax solo in there," and I remember in particular, someone sent me this like death metal band from Norway or something, and it had a sax solo in it. And the guy was just playing Coltrane licks. It was just like, obviously they just called some buddy of theirs who just played the same stuff he always played. It wasn't anything new and exciting. And I just kind of thought, for years, I thought, I'm hearing Eddie Van Halen play all these arpeggios and stuff, and I'm doing all that stuff in classes. Why isn't? Hey, Jacob, good to see you, man. But yeah, it's I just thought, why isn't someone incorporating this kind of technique on saxophone? Why is nobody doing it? And then after years of wondering that, I just finally said, well, I guess it's going to be me, and I hope someone else is going to take up the charge along with me. And let's start showing that our instrument can do something different than what everybody just predicts. They want to put us in this little box and say,
and that's okay, good. You can do that, Brent, because I've worked with musicians in the past, and you bring in a cello player or whatever. You have to have the music scripted. They have to have the notes. They don't always think. They can't improvise, believe it or not. A lot of these really amazing, talented classical musicians. So the fact that you can do that, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's a unique thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a whole other discussion. But back in the Baroque period, instrumentalists were required to improvise a lot. And what happened was composers didn't always like how their music was being improvised on, so they started just writing it out and didn't give them that option. And so now, by the time you get to Stravinsky, he's telling you every little thing he wants, as opposed to here, just play something along this line. And so that's really just kind of been sort of brought out of classical musicians, that the improvisation is just gone these days, which is really
well, Brent, more than just improv versus notes on the page. Don't you think that's indicative of a bigger question, and that is musical literacy? Ryan, do you read music? Rylee, do you read music?
No.
You see, Dom, do you read music?
Very basic notation.
You see, it's just not a requirement anymore.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, if you didn't read music, the music world is closed to you. That's like trying to be an editor and not being able to read. It's just not that way anymore. It doesn't matter. It's all about whether you can translate what you're hearing in here into your hands or your fingers or your voice.
I found the better they are at reading music, the less they can improvise, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And the less, I think they also tap into the melody and stuff not as well. The ones that are really structured. Look at a Paul McCartney. He can't really read music, but the melodies, they live in his head. That's where they need to be.
Yeah.
They have to be that way.
Well, at the same time, there's arguments to be made for both of that. I mean, I have a doctorate in music, and
you're unique. That's what I'm saying, Brent. You're kind of a unique cat.
But you got Paul Bilutovich, who went to the London Royal Academy of Music. Let's talk about Rick Wakeman, Kerry Minier. Let's talk about there are a lot.
Hey, wait a second. You're telling me I've been mispronouncing Paul's name wrong all these years?
Yeah, but he said that as long as you continue calling him a rock god, he doesn't care what you
call him. He is a god, man. I always call him Paul Bilatowicz.
Yeah,
I am so wrong. Say it again. Maybe I'll get it right.
It's Bilutovich.
Bilutovich. That cat's insane. He can play any day of the week.
He's crazy. Just signed with Decco Records. His new album's going to be coming out soon. Very excited for that. So, yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I guess he's been opening some dates for Nectar, on their tour, also on that label. That's a cool little record label.
Yeah, very.
And I'm talking to two. We're talking about record labels and whatnot. You're an indie artist, Brent. Rylee Advent Horizon, their new record, that's not going to be on a major label, right?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah.
Unless
Dom,
you're listening to this, and
I don't have a label.
I was going to say Inside Out. If you're listening, hit me up.
That's right.
They should hit him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of leaning towards, kind of edging towards, because you guys know who you are. You know you're lurking out there. And a lot of times, there's people out there in the peanut gallery. They don't want to announce their presence, right? They're lurkers, man. They're out there. You know who you are. You know you're watching. Come on, man. Give your boy a call. We got some work to do because I've got two of the brightest stars in the entire prog sky, Dominic Sanderson. This has been awesome having you on the show today. Your latest album, Blazing Revelations. I hope you guys enjoyed that track, Faithless Folly. The second track off the album, 10 and a half minutes long, and it flew by like that before I knew it. Because I told myself, okay, the acoustic guitar comes back in. That's how I know it's about over. And before I know it, it's over. I'm like, wait a second, it can't be over already. So good. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
What are you up to here in the next few months that we should be looking out for?
Well, the next thing for me is to try and get a live video of my band playing the album, if possible, because the way that my band play it live is different to the studio recordings, mainly because the arrangements are so excessive on the album that we've had to try and sort of strip it back so that it works for a live setting. But we also do some cool different things with the songs when we play it live. So I think I'd really like to capture that in a live setting. So I'm working on that at the moment.
Okay.
But I'm composing album 3 at the moment, which,
nice.
as I said, is going down that sort of acid folk.
Does anybody know who Weird Debbie is?
No.
Weird Debbie might like the acid folk. She might be a First Utterance fan.
Oh yeah, listen to Comas. Listen to
Comas.
Listen to Hölderlin. If I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. German bands from the 70s. Hölderlin. Listen to Spyrogyra.
Not that 80s smooth jazz. No, Spyrogyra with an I, not a Y, right?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. But were you excited or at least even a little surprised, like how all of a sudden people are like saying all these real positive things about Impermanence when it came out? It was like from out of nowhere, every single person I knew in the prog world was like, have you heard about that Dominic Sanderson guy? I mean, really? Overnight, it was just bizarre. It was like the Jupiter Fungus of last year. Have you heard that Jupiter Fungus album? Everybody wanted to talk about it. So you're last year's news already, basically. I'm trying to say.
Seems that way. Yeah. No, to be fair, I just, when I'm recording and releasing music, I just, it sounds selfish, but I do it for me. And I do it so that I have the songs there to listen to whenever I want and have it as like an achievement. If anyone else likes it and wants to listen to it, then that's just a bonus, really. So, but I'm glad that people are enjoying it, and thank you to anyone that's commented and reviewed the album. It really is humbling and very, very nice to hear.
Yeah, it's been a really fun ride watching you grow. Just in 2 albums, it feels like Impermanence came out like a lifetime ago.
I know, it feels like ages ago.
And we've seen our boy grow and change right before our very eyes, and he's saying all the right things about album number 3. It's going to be so exciting to watch, our little flower grow into this humongous superstar. We're going to make it happen, Dominic. Thank you for being on the show, and thank you, Rylee. Kind of like a last-minute addition. Kevin was like, you know who might work out really good on the show? And I'm like, I got to guess. His name's Dominic Sanderson, man. Rylee from Advent Horizon might really fit in. And I was like, I ignored the text or the email for about a day. And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right, actually. The more I think about it, it was genius putting you two guys together on the show. But Rylee, what is going on? Tell me what's the timeline and anything else about the new album you want to tell me about. Get the kids excited.
Yeah, it's coming together really well. We are almost done. Well, we are done with the recording side of things. We're just going to be mixing it over the next month and then dropping singles this summer. It is, I would say it's heavier and proggier than our past albums. And the first track on it is a 20-minute epic. So what else can I say?
What else can you say?
We are. It is our statement to the world of, hello, are we proggy enough for you? There's always been a little, we've walked that line in the past where people are like, I don't know, are they prog? Like they're a little bit too, like, there's too much like catchy melodies going on and the songs aren't long enough. Like there's been this heated debate in the prog world about whether we are prog for about a decade now. So this is my solemn promise to the world that we are prog. I promise you.
Okay, you know what, Rylee? I can answer that for everybody right now. Water, which we played the track off. Yeah, that's probably one of the more accessible songs on the album. If you think that weird breakdown, yeah, we were in an off time there, but then when we go to that middle section, it's actually an 8. How do you? It sounds like you're in like 17/8, but you remain in 8 all the way through it. If that's not prog rock, disguising 8 in such a way, it didn't even sound syncopated. It just sounded so cool and so awesome. That was like the first moment when I listened to that album that I knew, okay, this is more than, this band's a little bit more than meets the eye. So is it prog? Is it not prog? I love that question. I love it not being answerable.
I actually agree with that a little bit. Internally, to myself, to my own taste, I love listening to something and having to debate with myself a little bit about what I would classify something as.
What is that?
It's kind of fun when something walks a lot of lines and also has a lot of different obvious influences that shine through, without being too strong in any one direction. It's fun, and that's where we try to sit as a band. We're going to be doing a lot of live shows in the next year. We're working out the new material live right now. My hope is to get out on the road and be playing shows across the US and fingers crossed in Europe if we can make it out there. That's kind of what's going on in our camp right now. We are, and
maybe even drag Brent Bristow into the equation on a couple of those shows.
Let's do some more gigs, man. Let's make it happen.
That's good.
Well, in summertime, what's going on at Arkansas State University at BB, Brent? It's got to be you got to be winding down, right?
We are, yeah. I have the last concert I have to conduct is on Thursday, so I'm ready for that to get done. So the main things I have for the foreseeable future is, number one, going and checking out some Dominic Sanderson albums that I don't know.
Yes, top priority, absolutely, Brent.
Secondly, I will be checking my text for a message from Rylee every day for some final mixes to listen to.
You'll get them. Don't worry.
The demos are amazing. The demos are just phenomenal, and I cannot wait to hear. In fact, the 20-minute epic we listened to in a rental car when we were.
Yeah, we listened to it together.
Yeah, that was awesome, and he was.
I'm pretty sure you were like one of the first people outside of the band that heard that in its final demo form.
Yeah, and it was awesome. So I definitely can't wait to hear for that. But anyway, so we're working on some more stuff. Going to be starting with some drum tracks, hopefully late May, early June for the new album, which is hopefully going to be in 2026. Ooh, and then also in September, keep your fingers crossed because we keep having problems. But in September 1st, Emerald City Council live gig. Be watching for that announcement. So we're taking way too long, but we're finally getting there. And who knows, maybe we'll even pull Rylee in to play some extra guitar and stuff.
Hey, I'll come out. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it'll be a blast.
Better late than never. You don't want to rush to the live thing, right? It gets you all stressed out. It gets your fans disappointed. Yeah. No big deal. Kiefer wants to know what the upcoming live streams are. Do I have that schedule handy? Do I? Or do I have to wing it? I hate winging it. I know I've got sometime in February next Sunday.
We got the debut.
Who's after that?
Well, we definitely know we have Brian Coombs and Rocking Horse Music Club coming up. They have their new album coming out.
Is he the 11th or the 4th?
He's the 11th, I believe.
Okay, so we've got sometime in February coming up next weekend. So that's the 4th. And then the 11th, we've got Brian Coombs, Rocking Horse Music Club, brand new album with guest appearances from Tony Banks. Are you freaking kidding me? How cool is that?
Yeah, the album has guest appearances, not in your show.
Come on.
Maybe he'll surprise us. Brent surprised us today. Maybe Tony will show up.
You're supposed to leave it ambiguous like that so people tune in, like not knowing.
I didn't want Brian getting mad at me.
It's the old bait and switcheroony, and then May 18th, we've got the Mommy Heads. And I am trying to get Roy for that one, too.
Okay.
Because he's friends with them, and I guess he's been working with them. So if we can't get Roy from the Prog Report for sometime in February, we're going to try to get him for the Mommy Heads. And then I was thinking about taking a week off from all you annoying artists, right? All Ians, getting on my last nerve. Getting on the Dominic Sandersons and the who else have we had? The Steve Babs from Glass Hammer and the Roy Nostal's just getting on my last nerves. I believe that we're going to do May 25th. We're going back old school, Kevin. We're going to go old school. Me, you, and a couple bums from Canada. Maybe Wayne and Cody. Maybe Cody will have his better half with him. So, kind of class up the joint. And we're going to be talking about the 10 best Black Sabbath songs. What do you think about that?
Nice. I love that.
We've never talked about Black Sabbath on the show. Not really.
That's great. I'm totally down for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. No annoying artists to get in my way.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of Canada, 3 of those bands I put up there are from Canada. So they're holding their own. Canada for New Prog.
Yes, they are. Canada, look out, world. Look out, Norway. Canada's coming to take the throne, because even though our guests today hail from the UK and the US, everybody knows that.
I'm pretty sure Glass Camel's from Canada. Oh, that's right. That's what you were saying, because they were up on the screen there.
Yeah,
I just learned that a couple days ago and went, oh, cool. They're not that far from me.
No.
Very cool.
Salt Lake City. Oh, yes, indeed. This was a good show. We could go on for hours and hours, but we're not going to do it. So tune in tomorrow, boys and girls, where I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album from the Flower Kings. My newfound friendship with Roy Nostal, it's not going to impact or influence my rating or score in any way, shape, or form, nor will the fact that they actually sent me a physical copy instead of just sending me files, which you know how much that annoys me. You know how much that... What am I going to do with a file? I'm an old guy. I got to take all this time and transfer that file onto this computer, then onto that, and then put it on my iTunes, and then it goes to my phone. Come on, man. It's all baloney. It's not. None of that's going to impact my score. Not one little bit. So tune in for that next week on the Sunday Prog stream. North Carolina's own, sometime in February, will be my guests. Anyway, I love you. Peace in the Middle East. Free the Ukraine. Free Ukraine. Free that Ukraine. I'm going to say it a couple more times just in case nobody heard me. Free the Ukraine. Free Tibet. Free your mind. Free beer. Free Willie, and God save the king. Save King Chucky. Oh, we're going to save that king. Oh, yes, we are. We're going to march in lockstep, because that king's coming to America. Oh, yeah, he is, Kevin. Bring that boy to America. You know what we can do? We can do thoughts and prayers, spells and incantations. We're going to drink that poison. Oh, and you know what else we're going to do? We're going to dance with snakes. Oh, no. The snakes are going to get you, Kevin. Oh, look out, Dominic Sanderson. You don't know nothing about these snakes. Oh, yeah, blazing revelations. How about blazing rattlesnakes? How about that? Oh, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Why'd it have to be snakes?